Organizations add people to increase their capacity. Yet, a common experience inside a growing company is that as more people join, communication seems to slow down. This is not a failure of individual effort, but a predictable consequence of how organizations are structured. The friction this creates is not just an internal problem. It eventually becomes visible in the products and services a company produces.
The addition of new people increases the number of communication pathways at an exponential rate. This growing complexity is the fundamental cause of the slowdown, and it creates pressure on the organization to adapt its operating model. The question then is why growth creates these bottlenecks. The answer is found in the pressure that scale exerts on a system. Informal communication methods that are effective for small teams become unreliable as the organization expands. As an organization grows, the number of potential communication lines between individuals increases significantly. What was once simple, informal coordination can become disordered and unpredictable.
A small team operates effectively with informal communication and flexible decision-making. In a large organization, these same informal methods lead to inconsistency. To function at scale, the system requires formal coordination and standardized processes.
To manage this growing complexity, organizations introduce standardization. The objective is to make work predictable, ensuring that different parts of the company can operate in parallel without continuous informal alignment. The most common structural response to the pressure for standardization is a formal hierarchy. Management layers are introduced to oversee and coordinate the work of increasingly specialized teams. This type of organization is known as a bureaucratic structure. It is a system designed specifically to manage complexity, not an accidental byproduct of growth. Its purpose is to enable large-scale, coordinated operations. This structure establishes order through clearly defined roles and a formal chain of command. The intent is to create a predictable system where individual responsibilities and reporting lines are explicit. The primary objective of this structure is to make operations precise and unambiguous. Through standardized processes and clear lines of authority, it is designed to reduce operational friction, similar to how a machine is designed for efficiency. This solution for operational complexity, however, introduces a different kind of problem. The same structure that creates control and coordination also introduces barriers to the flow of information. In a hierarchical organization, information is designed to flow through predefined official channels. This means communication is structured to follow the chain of command, either moving up or down through management layers. For an idea originating from an employee to reach senior leadership, it must pass through each successive management layer. This flow of information from lower to higher levels is called upward communication. As information moves up this chain, each manager typically summarizes and interprets it for the next level. This filtering is a necessary function for managing information volume in a large system. A direct consequence of this filtering is that the original message can be modified during transmission. Important context can be lost, and key details may be omitted as the information moves up the hierarchy. Therefore, the structure designed for operational efficiency also creates communication delays and a higher potential for misinterpretation. The same channels that provide control also slow down the transmission of information and reduce its accuracy. This communication challenge does not remain confined within the organization. It has a direct and observable impact on the final output of the organization's work. This phenomenon is described by Conway's Law, articulated in 1967. It states that an organization's communication structure directly constrains the design of the systems it can produce. The law posits that the technical architecture of a system will inevitably mirror the communication structure of the organization that produced it. For system components to interface effectively, the corresponding teams that built them must be able to communicate effectively. For example, if an organization is divided into siloed teams that communicate mainly through their managers, the product it creates will likely consist of siloed, poorly integrated features. The system's architecture reflects the organization's social architecture. Ultimately, the communication challenges created by the internal hierarchy, such as information delays and filtering, are embedded in the design of the final product. This reveals the core trade-off of the system. Organizations add layers to manage complexity, which prioritizes coordination and control. This very structure, however, necessarily slows down communication. The system is therefore optimized for predictability at the expense of communication speed.